All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing. It is April 15th. It's 9:01, so we can get started. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the Special Magistrate for this morning's hearing. The first thing I'm going to do for those of you who are here for cases on today's agenda, I'm going to swear everybody in, including city staff. So if you're able, can you stand for me and raise your right hands? Thank you. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You all may be seated. There may be a few that I swear in if anybody comes in after the fact. A little bit about process. I think all the cases on today's agenda are violation hearings. So when you hear your case called, you're going to come to the podium here on my right side. City staff will come to the podium that's on my left. The city will go first. They'll present its case. Show me any documents. Those documents will be scrolling on both sides of the screen at the front of the room. They will call any witnesses that they intend to call, and when the city is finished with its presentation, it will be your turn to show me any documents you brought with me, say anything that you'd like me to hear, cross-examine any witnesses that the city has put on. Once I've heard from both sides, I'll make a final ruling, and you'll get a copy of an order that reflects that ruling. So keep in mind that all of your testimony this morning is given under oath, and with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
First case number 15-3214, Liddy Avenue, CE 26024929. I believe this is associated with number 17 as well, 3208 Liddy Avenue, CE 26024928.
Good morning. Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This is concerning address 3214 Liddy Avenue, case number CE 26024929. On 2/19/26, I responded to a complaint in reference to this address, placing the trash cans in front of the complainant's driveway. At the time, I did not observe the violation. I was there to investigate. I did notice other violations present at the property. I returned on 2/20/26 and took photos of the violations, made contact with the tenant of this property, advised him of the initial complaints, and briefed him on other violations I observed. The tenant volunteered that the same owner, who he referred to as his boss, also owned the property next door. I noticed violations at that property also and issued a notice of violation. While on the site, the tenant contacted Tyler, who has been identified as the property manager. Via his cell phone, I spoke with him and explained the violations I observed and advised that I would be issuing notices of violations. In the conversation, I told him I did not see a rental license, but I would be doing more investigation before citing. Also on the same date, I conducted a records check for the rental license and found that there was no rental license on file. I received an email from Tyler the same day advising that the rental license application was in the process of being completed. Records indicated that the application was dated on 2/26/26. On 3/13/26, I received a call from Tyler and we set an inspection date for 4/3/26. I was not able to result this inspection as passing due to an apparent electrical issue affecting the front door entry, the back hallway, and the front restroom. At that time, Tyler was present during the inspection. He stated that an electrician would be contacted and the issue would be addressed. On 3/26/26, I received an email from Ms. Puel advising there was a half address at this location and that had been rectified. 3/27/26, a comply-by inspection was conducted. The driveway has not been completed. At that time, the vehicle that I cited was not there, and the rental license was still pending. Your Honor, the outstanding violations are 94-485-E, surfacing of parking and loading. It's a gravel driveway, none of it non-dusting material. 22-441, the rental license, and 22-32, certificate of use. The property was posted on 2/24/26. Certified mail was sent on 3/17/26 and received, it was actually picked up in person, according to the United States Post Office, on 4/6/26. The city is requesting for the rental license 22-441 30 days or one-time fee of $250. For the certificate of use, 22-32-A, 30 days or $100 per day. And for the driveway, 94-485-E, 160 days or $100 per day if not complied. I do believe that these time and section extensions are sufficient to become compliant.
What was the last one you said for 94-485? Compliant how many days?
160,
Or what fine amount?
$100 per day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, your name, sir?
Clement McNally. The two properties in question are my father's, who's sick. He's not coming down here. Just the one clarification on the guy Tyler. He works for me. He is a property manager. He's not like the property manager for these two properties. That's just, I wanted to clarify that.
Okay, he's an employee of yours.
Employee of mine.
Okay.
And I was sent there because these are my father's properties, right?
Okay.
So I don't disagree with anything Tony said. The only thing I would ask for, in regards to the driveways, because 3214 is a little bit of an anomaly in that neighborhood and has historic standing. You know, I just was hoping to have 200 days, just in case, for whatever reason, it has to go through historic review.
Okay.
Seems like
It's a historic property?
it's historic contributing. Yeah, it's like the one property, one of the few in that neighborhood that is. So even though the driveway is not in the front, I don't know whether or not, and the contractor we've selected, so we have selected a contractor, he also did not know. So given the sort of uncertainty there, it seemed like just safe that, you know, I don't know, we all know how difficult that can be when you go through historic review.
Okay.
So that would be my request for the driveways. And then, I think the rental license, just given that Tyler's already been working on it, 30 days is fine. I mean, you know.
You think you can get those, the electrical issue
I mean,
complied?
he gave me all the information beforehand, didn't ask for any extra time. The only
Okay.
extra time he asked for was
That
for the
should be
driveways.
more than enough time, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine a circumstance in which an electrical issue could take more than 30 days. So I guess we could ask for 60, but because Tyler hasn't said anything about it, I'm not, you know, I don't, yeah,
Okay.
I guess I'll request 60 just to be safe, but honestly, I don't think it's gonna take it. So
Okay.
I'm formally requesting 60. So
Okay.
do with it what you will.
All right, and what is the evidence that the property is being rented? I know
met
they've
the
made
tenant.
application, but did you see, was the complainant a tenant, or
No, I met the tenant.
you met the tenant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not being rented to, like, he is the man who provides medical care to my father. So he lives there, but he is not we don't exchange money in order for him to live there. Gives him his medicine, that type of thing.
So what's the city's response to that, given the rental? He's testifying that it's not a rental.
Well, I'm not. I just was clarifying that, but I think Tony informed us the rule is like if he's there for more than 6 months, then a rental license is required, which is fine.
Okay, so the
We've
transfer of money is
we've already
irrelevant.
We've
applied, so
already
you've-
applied
okay.
for it, and we're complying. We're not.
Okay, so you're not changing your position there. I just wanted to make sure you were not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that you're
sorry
not
for-
going
sorry for
forward
the
with that.
confusion, yeah.
All right. All right, sir, do you have any objection to the documents that you've seen scrolling on the screen, the notice documents for today and the photographs, all those documents being entered into the record?
I mean, I think I can't imagine, but yeah, if you want to go through them. Those are the driveways, yeah.
All right, no objection to those documents being entered?
Nope.
Okay. What's the city's request to his 60-day request?
I'm sorry,
He's
saying-
asking for 60 days on the BTR and certificate of use, given the electrical issue. Does the city have a response to that?
Hey, the city's going to counteroffer with 45 days.
Okay.
Let's just, yeah.
A little let's make a deal this morning. All right, I think you can get that done in 30 days, but I'll give you the 45. If the city's not objecting to
Honestly, I think
45,
so, too.
I'll
I appreciate it.
I'll give you the 45, just to make sure, because as you said, sometimes things are more complicated than they should be, so.
Yep.
All right, anything else you'd like me to hear, sir?
No, that's it. That's
All
great.
right, anything further from the city in this case?
No, Your Honor, I was waiting. Did you rule on the 160 days for the driveway, or?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, does the city have confirmation on whether this is a historic property?
I do not. I didn't
Okay.
investigate
And
that. too
I'm
far.
basing that off like my recollection of a map that's like, there's one red spot in a sea of nothing, no spots, and it's this one house that's historic.
Okay.
And so, I grant my recollection could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's,
So I'm going to give you 180 days.
Okay.
That should be more than enough time. I'll give you a little bit more than the city's asking for. If you run into an issue, you can communicate with the city and
I'm
keep in
aware.
touch with him. Yeah.
Worst case, we end up with the lien reduction that I'm sure will be granted, but I obviously don't want to get there.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why I'm going to give you a little bit more time, just in case that is at issue.
Yeah.
And both of those timeframes should be more than enough for you to get through these processes. All right, in case CE 26024929, I'll I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-485E, 22-441, and 22-32A. For code section 22-441, I'll require a respondent to comply within 45 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed. For code section 22-32A, I'll require a respondent to comply with that code section within 45 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. And for code section 94-485E, I'll require a respondent to comply within 180 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter. So I don't know if you've been to code enforcement before, but you don't come back to me. So make sure you get complied and you get an affidavit of compliance before those dates so that the fines don't start, okay? Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Are you staying for 17 too, or is that separate?
Yeah, it's the same.
Sorry, did we not do them both at the same time?
No, that's
Pardon
just the
me.
one. They have to be
Pay
done
for
separate.
17. Yep.
Number
Okay.
17, 3208 Liddy Avenue, CE 26024928.
Good morning, Tony Apostolos, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of West Palm Beach. Your Honor, this is concerning address located at 3208 Liddy Avenue, case number CE 26024928. On 2020, I observed several violations at this property. I made contact with the tenants, who then contacted Tyler, who identified himself as the property manager, briefly explained the violations I observed, and he stated that he would get working on them right away, including the rental license and COU. On 2020, a records check was completed, only to reveal no license or COU was on file for the property. On 2023-26, as of the initiation of the violation document, a rental license and COU has been applied for. As of this date, I sent him a copy of the inspection criteria so that he could prepare and verify the property would pass the inspection prior to scheduling. At the request of the property manager, a copy of this notice was emailed to him. On 3/27/26, comply by inspection was completed. The driveway had not been completed, and the rental license is still pending.
So let me ask you to pause there. I'm not seeing the rental license on the agenda.
That has been complied.
So, okay, so that's coming off, so just the.
So the only issue at this property is going to be 94-485-E. The driveway must be of concrete and not a non-dusting material. So
perfect.
they're the same driveway.
Okay, great.
So, yeah. Property was posted on 2/24/26. Certified mail was sent on 3/17/26, and the mail was picked up according to the United States Postal Service on 4/6/26. City is requesting for the driveway with 94-485-E, 160 days or $100 a day if not complied. I do believe that this time extension is sufficient to comply, but to go with, I guess he's going to have both driveways done the same way. It's at your discretion, Your Honor.
Yeah, I guess I'd ask for 180 just to match the other one because they're going to be done by the same contractor at the same time. Obviously, it does not have the same historic issue.
Okay.
So again, I'll leave it to you. But it would make sense a little bit to me to have them on the same timeline, but yeah.
Okay. Are these are connected, these properties, or they're behind each other? Or?
They're just next to each other.
Okay. All right, let me see the remaining documents. Take a look at these documents while she's opening them up, because I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I thought we were doing both. That's why I thought we were doing both at the same time, because we looked at 3208, pictures of 3208 with the last one. Yeah.
So is this the old case or the new case? It looks exactly the same.
That 32, that's 3208.
Even me. I mean, again, they're not my houses.
So you can see the start of the driveway there at the bottom. That's 3214, which, so the driveways are
We're not
identical.
getting a lot of pictures of 3214 here. We're only getting pictures of 3208, but that right there, you're standing in the driveway at 3214.
Okay.
But I was getting them a little bit mixed up, frankly. I guess the historic one is 3208.
Is there a posting affidavit in the certified mail?
Yes, ma'am. The properties were posted the same day, and certified mail was sent the same day, and they were picked up the same day at the post office.
Okay. All right, sir, do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the case file?
No, I probably should have objected to the last ones because they weren't the right. We were looking at 3208 when we were talking about 3214.
Yeah, that's a good
I got confused. It's
question.
fine.
Can we go back to, because I thought the orange house or whatever color that is was 3214 or whatever the last case was. Was that not the right photos?
No.
What house is this?
That's 3208.
So that was the photos I looked at for the last
That one,
case.
okay, that one passed its rental license inspection, so that's been cleared. So the only thing pending at that property is the driveway.
Okay.
And that's the one that's historic.
Yeah, let me rule
I
on this
thought my
case, and then
guys-
I'm going to ask you to pull open the case file for 3214, because I thought that orange house was the last property, red or whatever color that is. All right, so anything further, sir, on this case?
No, I have the same. I guess my request now, my initial request applies more to this one than it does.
I'm going to give you the 180 days, just so you get through. You've showed up to the hearing, so my job is to give you the time you think you need. So with that, anything further from the city in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, in case CE 2602-4928, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files, composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the signed certified mail and the posting documents that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 94-485E, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 180 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. And then I'm going to reopen case CE 26024929.
They're all the correct photos. I don't object on them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and that's the driveway at the other address.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so no objection to these photographs in this case for 30, no? All right, in this case, I'm going to reaffirm my prior ruling. I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file, which now we've both reviewed, respondent's representative and myself, the correct photos for this case. I'm going to find again that the city had good service based on a signed certified mail and an affidavit of posting. And I'm going to reaffirm the compliance dates that I stated previously for section 22-441. I'm finding them in violation, and I'm going to require them to comply within 45 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed. I'm again finding violation of 2232A and requiring respondent to comply within 45 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed. And for 94-485, I'm finding a violation of that section, subpart E as well, and requiring compliance within 180 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue. Thank you for allowing that clarification. And again, keep in touch with the code officer if something happens. Thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Number 10, 2100 North Australian Avenue, CE 26024964. Number 10, 2100 North Australian Avenue.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer Donald Lattimore. That case has been complied.
It looks like that's all we have for contested matters.
We have one more, number 3.
Okay. Number 3, 1408 9th Street, CE 26035061.
Good morning, Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed a newly installed fence at 1408 9th Street. I took photos of the violations, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on March 17th of 2026, citing 2 violations. The violations are 94-302-A-3 fence permit, obtaining a permit for the installed fence, FBC 110.1, permit and inspection needed for the installed fence. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on March 20th of 2026. Certified and regular mail was sent on March 27th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on the property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on April 13th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the violations previously listed. A fence permit application was applied for on December the 21st of 2025. A response was posted on December the 24th of 2025 for the owner to come in person to resubmit an application in person. As of today's date, that status has not changed. I received several calls from the owner. I attempted to call back, but received voicemail, left a message for the property owner. So other than that, I have not had any contact with the owner. The city is requesting an additional 90 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, ma'am, were you sworn in at the beginning of the hearing?
Yes.
You were?
No.
I thought she came in late. Yeah.
did.
No,
Yeah, raise your right hand for me.
no, I'm sorry, because I came late, I go to the other side, so I wasn't know it's here.
Okay, so can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
I'm going to swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what is your name, ma'am?
Daphne Georges, Joy.
Oh. Okay, perfect. So it sounds like you've applied for a fence permit,
Yes, I did.
but you need to come in. What she's saying is that you need to come into City Hall and apply in person.
She needs to resubmit because she's trying to do owner builder,
Okay.
and that needs to be done in person. They have to do some notarization and that sort of thing.
Okay, do you understand that?
Yes.
I'll explain it to her, but you're gonna have to, when we leave here, we'll go over,
Okay.
because they need you in person.
Okay, I was there.
Oh, so that is outstanding?
Okay. And then she's going to show you the documents on the screen. Let's look at those together, and I'm going to ask if you have any objection to those documents being entered. And that's the fence we're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay.
If you go down, you'll see the note that they responded when they reviewed the initial application.
Okay. All right, ma'am, do you have any objection to those documents being entered?
Yes, the paper, I have them.
Okay, no objection to those being put into the record this morning? You've seen you've seen everything on the screen and you're okay with those documents?
Yes, I see everything.
Okay. The city is asking me to give you 90 days to get the permit. That should be more than enough time.
I'm sorry, is it, because I already have the permit number, so I don't know just what I have to do.
You have to get the permit issued. So you've applied back in December, but you need to go, like she's telling you, she'll help you go over to wherever you need to go and notarize whatever paperwork you need to do for owner builder. But you don't get out of code enforcement trouble until you have the permit issued.
Okay.
So not just applied for, but issued. So 90 days should be more than enough time. The city's in agreement that that's more than reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, that's all.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 2603-5061, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file that the respondent's in violation of section 94302A3 and FBC 110.1 for the new fence that was installed without the required permits and inspections. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 90 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues. So go next door or wherever you have to go in City Hall and get the paperwork moving so that you can get through in 90 days, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just calling number 12, 2100 North Australian Avenue, CE 26024963. That case is complied as well. That is all we have for contested matters. Number 1 is complied, 936 36th Street, CE 26035079. Number 2, 724 51st Street, CE 25124454.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. The property at 724 51st Street was observed to have multiple violations and not be in compliance with the following code sections: 78-6-4, which is numbering. It was observed that the address characters were not of contrasting colors. 94-442-C-1, landscape areas must be grass. It was observed that the property needs to be sodded on the side of the property and on the setback. And then 94-482-A, which is parking requirements. It was observed that the front driveway is in disrepair. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. Notice of violation or notice of hearing was sent certified and regular mail on 12/12/25 and received and signed on 12/19 of 25. The notice of violation was posted at the property on 12/5/2025. The affidavit of posting 12/5 of 25 is in the case file. Photos were taken at the initial investigation and when the property was revisited. These photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. The city is therefore requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. The city believes 30 days is enough time for compliance.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, and have you had any communication with the respondent?
I have not.
All right, and for the record, the respondent is not present. So those are the numbers there, and they're the same color as the house, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And the parking area is the driveway that's in disrepair there?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 25124454, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-482A, 94-442C1, and 78-6-4. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue.
Thank you.
Number 4, 259 Barcelona Road, CE 26024885.
Good morning. Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 2/3/26 and posted on 2/12/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and was returned on 3/30/2026. I have been in contact with the property manager. The property was cited for 94302A3 fence permits. At the property, I observed the fence and the rear setback installed without a permit. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of April 13th, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 90 days to obtain all permits and inspections needed to come into compliance. I believe 90 days is enough to achieve compliance. If they don't come into compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
And the fence you're talking about, is that wood fence on top of the wall?
Yes,
Okay. And you said you had communication with somebody?
correct. The property
They-
manager.
They understand what they need to do and?
Yes.
Okay. Have they applied yet or no?
No.
Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 26024885, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the photographs in the case file that the respondent's in violation of section 94302A3, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 90 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 5608 Avenida Hermosa, CE 25094065.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 2/8/26 and posted on 3/24/2026. Service was accomplished by certified mail 4/8/2026. I've been in contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for multiple violations, but 2 remain. 18106B, excessive growth. At the property, I observed excessive vegetation, grass, weeds on the property. And 94442C1, landscape areas. At the property, I observed that there was bare spots and missing grass throughout the front yard. Photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of April 13th, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 30 days to achieve compliance. I believe 30 days is enough time to correct the violation. If they don't come in compliance, then the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, so in the landscape areas in your reinspection photos, clearly there's still bare spots. It looks like they mowed, but they didn't trim the trees. Is that what's
Correct.
outstanding? Okay.
And in the back along the fence line, it's all vegetation.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they didn't get behind the side of the house at all over there, huh?
Right.
It's all bushes and, okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 2509-4065, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include affidavits of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106B, 18106K, and 94442C1. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 6, 1113 Florida Avenue, CE 26024944, PCHQ LLC.
Good morning, Don Williams, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm Beach. I cited this business, PCHQ LLC, on February 25th or 26th. I cited them for a business tax receipt under 82-144. The previous license they had expired September 30th of 25. Certified regular mail sent out 3/26 of 26. The property posted 2/26 of 26. I made contact with the business owner at residence. This is a home-based business. He indicated that he would follow through on the license, and as of yesterday, he did not. So my recommendation today would be 10 days to comply, or a one-time fine of $250. I believe 10 days will be enough time to comply this violation. It could be done online or come in the office, just make the payment.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence. All right, and it looked like the Division of Corporations website listed the business at this address. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything further?
Nope, that's it.
All right, in case CE 26024944, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the documents in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 82-144 for the business tax receipt. I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 10 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed.
Number 7, 700 South Rosemary Avenue, 204, CE 26034983, SOF Designs LLC.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm. SOF Designs LLC was cited by me on 3/2 of 26 for a business tax receipt under Code Section 82-144. The previous license they had expired September 30th of 25. Certified regular mail was mailed out 3/26 of 26. I hand-delivered a copy of the violation to the location on 3/3 of 26. It was signed for by the management company Venture X Suites, who actually subleased these business location to the owner of the business. No contact made with the business owner directly, just the management company. They did have indicated that the business is still operating from that location. My recommendation would be 10 days to comply or a one-time fine of $250. Again, they can actually just make that payment online, so 10 days would be good enough time.
You said 10 days or 250?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Hold on that one for a sec. So that doesn't have it listed. So somebody told you that the business was still operating there?
Yeah, the management company that runs it,
Okay.
Venture X.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Anything further?
Nope, that's it.
All right, in case CE 26034983, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include hand delivery, signature of the notice of hearing, and notice of violation, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of section 82-144, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 10 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed.
Number 8, 700 South Rosemary Avenue, 204 CE 26034986, 313 Red LLC.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm, 313 Red LLC, business cited by me on 3/2/26 for a business tax receipt on code section 82-144. The previous license they had expired September 30th of 24. Certified mail, regular mail sent out 3/25/26. Hand delivered a copy of the notice of violation on 3/3/26. Management company Venture X Suites verified that the company still operates from that location. No contact with the owner of the business directly. My recommendation today, 10 days or a one-time fine of $250. 10 days will be enough time. The payment can be made online.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
All right, this is in the same building?
Yes.
Okay. All right, in case CE 26034986, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail, signed hand delivery of the notice of violation and notice of hearing, and an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of section 82-144, and I'll require a respondent to comply within 10 days, or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 9, 511 Northwood Road, CE 260248 331 Mestizo Peruvian Cuisine LLC.
Good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Violations associated with the business located at 511 Northwood Road were identified during the quarterly Northwood Village walkthrough. I completed an initial inspection on January 26th of 2026 and cited the property for multiple violations. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date on February 9th of 2026. That notice of violation was updated on March 12th of 2026. I hand-delivered the original notice of violation at the business on February 9th of 2026, and the updated notice of violation was also hand-delivered on March 13th of 2026. The notice of violation was posted at City Hall on February 9th of 2026 and again on March 13th of 2026. I also completed an affidavit of posting on February 9th, 2026 and March 13th of 2026. And the notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on March 3rd of 2026 and again on March 25th of 2026 by the city's clerk. Certified mail was signed for both times. I completed a re-inspection on April 14th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code violations. 78342A to obtain a sidewalk cafe permit. 78-1 obstructing the sidewalk right of way. And 78-492 to obtain a permit for the parklet that's located in the street area. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. And the photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The business owner is not present, but I made contact with him throughout the entire process. All violations were discussed, how to comply, and the special magistrate hearing. The business owner expressed difficulty with obtaining the parklet permit and advised that additional time is needed. With that being said, the city is requesting 90 days to comply. If no compliance is achieved, a $200 per day fine, but the property owner is asking for at least 120 days to comply.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Did they indicate that they were coming to the hearing today, or were you aware they were not going to be here?
I discussed with them and highly recommend that they attend the hearing yesterday in great detail. I was informed that the business owner would be here today, but yeah, he's a little bit upset with the process in general. But I highly recommend that he would come to the hearing today.
And did he indicate to you, or are you aware of what the issue is with the parklet permit?
Absolutely. So our CRA department is assisting with providing funding to pay for the parklet. The main issue with the parklet is that it's not ADA accessible, which is prohibiting him from obtaining the permit until a deck be installed, which will allow it to be brought into ADA compliance. That deck right now is estimating to be $20,000, which he submitted an application for the CRA in hope of obtaining at least $10,000. So with that being said, that's part of the reason why the parklet permit is being held up, is because he's waiting to try to get some assistance. The sidewalk cafe permit, he does not believe he needs a permit for it. but he does need a permit for the sidewalk
So
cafe.
can you hold on that photo right there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. So
No, you're
what
fine.
what is the sidewalk permit is, just so I'm very clear, is for the tables that are on the sidewalk
The
there?
tables that are on the sidewalk where individuals sit, that's the sidewalk cafe, so he needs a permit to be able to have that cafe outside. The flower pots and plants that are there, they're obstructing the right-of-way. So that's what's obstructing the sidewalk right-of-way. And also without that sidewalk cafe permit, the tables and chairs that are out are considered to be obstructing the sidewalk right-of-way as well.
And what's the parklet, the part in the
The
street?
parklet is the part that's in the street, correct?
Okay, and the ADA issue is because there's a curb there?
Correct. So if individuals are wanting to sit out, they have to bring a deck that's up to the curve, so a wheelchair, for example, can just ride straight out to the parklet. Is it possible to go down, Monique, to another photo for the parklet in the street? Keep going down for me. Those are the table. This is a better photo of the parklet. See right now an individual that's on the sidewalk who wants to access the parklet. There is no ramp or nowhere for them to go straight to the parklet. So in order to obtain a permit for that parklet, part of it is that you need to have a deck there to make it ADA accessible.
Oh, so what you're saying is build the parklet up to the curb height, basically?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
But they could also comply by removing the stuff that's on the street, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Because my worry is that if they're going through a bigger process, even 120 days.
Right. And so the reason why the city was pushing for the 90-day, $200 per day fine is this has been going on for quite some time now.
Okay.
And if there's another document that I added to the case file showing the permits itself, well, you'll be able to see part of it is our zoning department is even explaining to the business owner. Here is an example. Those are like the sidewalk cafe. So the business owner is aware that he needs a permit. It was issued, but it expired. That's the second permit on that list that you're looking at. That's for the sidewalk cafe, the chairs that are located on the sidewalk. The first permit that you see there is for the parklet itself, and it's requiring to be resubmitted. So if you scroll down to the second page here, you would see our planning and zoning department. It's a little small and hard to read, but I went through each one of these steps. They're explaining in detail exactly what is needed and before they can even comply the permit for the parklet. And if you look at, I believe it's number 3 or number 4, they're also telling the business owner there that, hey, look, even your sidewalk cafe is not permitted because you don't have a permit for it. So there are 2 ways to comply the case: obtain the permit, or you have to remove the parklet and the outdoor seating and the flower pots that are obstructing the sidewalk right away.
And that sidewalk parklet permit, that looked like it was from 2024 was the application, is that right? If you go
Correct. So it's been going on for quite some time, and getting a little more about what's happening is it was a process with him applying for a grant or assistance to obtain some form of funding. To my knowledge, that application was submitted and completed towards the end of 2025. But either way, in order to get the permit, which is what code enforcement is citing for, you have to make the parklet ADA accessible. So the permit department planning and zoning would not even pass it without the parklet being ADA accessible.
Okay. But there's no issues with the sidewalk
The
cafe,
sidewalk
right?
cafe
That's
should
fine.
be correct, as long as they apply and obtain the license.
Okay, but no known issues that would prevent that from being issued if they
Right,
make application?
right.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
And did you explain, just one more question, did you explain to him that a method of compliance is removing the parklet?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And Claudia, who's citing from the planning and zoning, she also spoke to him on the phone while I was present at the business and went over everything with him again. And she also reiterated to him that that's one way to comply, is to just remove everything.
Okay. All right, I'm inclined, based on the facts that you've provided, that the parklet issue has been going on since 2024. I'm inclined to give the city its requested 90 days. Also, considering that the respondent didn't appear at the hearing today, so that's the time to come make their case for me or to me about why they need more time. So, given the length that this has already been going on, I'm inclined to give the city what it's asking. So, in case CE 2602-4831. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, those notice documents including hand delivery, signed for, as well as affidavits of posting, as well as signed certified mailings, that the city had more than sufficient service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 78-1, 78-492, and 78-342A. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 90 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 11, 517 Northwood Road, CE 26024835.
All right, good morning again. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Violations associated with the property located at 517 Northwood Road were identified during the quarterly Northwood Village walkthrough. I completed an initial investigation on January 26th of 2026 and cited the property for multiple violations. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date on February 9th of 2026. And that notice of violation was updated on March 13th of 2026 to include additional violations. I posted the original notice of violation on February 9th of 2026 and the updated notice of violation on March 13th of 2026. The notice of violation was posted at City Hall on February 9th and March 13th of 2026. I also completed an affidavit of posting on the February 9th and March 13th. And the notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on February 26th and again on April 1st of 2026 by the city's clerk. Certified mail was returned both times. I completed a reinspection on the 14th of April and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following violations. 744C4, trees are still obstructing the rear alley right-of-way. 786-6, incorrect address characters are still posted on the front of the property. And 94404F, as in Frank, to remove the obsolete sign. The business that's being advertised is no longer operating. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. And the photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, and I have not been in contact with the property owner or a property manager. I did make contact with the previous business owner, who had confirmed that the business is closed at the location. I inquired for any contact information pertaining to the property manager or the property owner. And the previous business owner declined and would not provide me any information due to a possible legal dispute that they may be entering with the the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to comply, and if compliance is not achieved, the city is requesting a $100 per day fine.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
So the skylight, whatever that said, skylight something is not operating there anymore?
It's not operating, which is why I had to update it the second time once I made contact with the business owner and they informed me that it's been closed.
So the signs that need to come down are the ones on the windows and the main one on the wall there? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the numbering correctness, there's two of the same?
So the property is 517. The City of West Palm Beach coordinator for addressing made a note for this particular parcel that they must remove all of the half addresses and to contact her to make sure that 515 is appropriate. So that's the reason why they were cited for the address characters, to get rid of the half and to also contact her to make sure that the appropriate address characters are placed up on the property. So in other words, the property is 517, they have 517, 515, 515 and a half listed. It's not the correct address characters.
All right, let me look at those photos. Okay, so those say 517.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Where is that, on the back?
Still the front.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yep.
Well, that's a little confusing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and the trees, that's the trees there? That's the back of the property, is that correct?
Yes, that's the back of the alleyway. And so the photos here was actually taken on the 13th. These photos that you are observing are from my supervisor, Richard Pasmino. I was probably not going to be in office today, so he added those photos. So I cannot testify on behalf of the photos that he added, but I do have photos that I took on the 14th. And if we pull those up, you'll be able to see the same. You'll be able to see the address characters. You'll be able to see the trees in the back, and you probably get a better view of how it's obstructing the right-of-way. With the reinspection photos that I took on the 14th, I can testify to those. All right, all the way up. Just go all the way to the top. All right, so this is still the front side of the business. If you keep going up, you'll see the 515 that I can testify to here. Keep going up, you'll see the 517, keep going up. Yes, so those are the address characters. And if you go down, what I tried to do in the back alleyway with the trees obstructing the right-of-way is I started close and started to walk back. So the issue is a truck cannot pass underneath. And as you get back further, you can see how low it's hanging. In that last photo down at the bottom is just documentation that the business is in fact closed. Here is document that the business is closed.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No.
All right, in case CE 2602-4835, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include affidavits of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of section 7866, 94-404F, and 74-4C4. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe we have someone present now for number 16. Is it 4905 North Flagler? No, okay, number 16, 4905 North Flagler Drive, number 4, CE 26024926.
Morning, Your Honor. This gentleman was not here for the swearing. He just walked in.
Yeah, let me go ahead and swear you in, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This is concerning 4905 North Flagler Drive, Unit Number 4. Case number CE 2602-4926. Your Honor, on 2/20/26, I responded to 4905 North Flagler, Unit B, in reference to a complaint from the tenant. I met with the tenant, Brittany, who advised that she believed that there was, in her words, mold was present in the unit. She stated that there was a leak that was repaired. However, no testing had been completed, and since there have been signs of growth and continued leaking in the same wall. This particular wall separates the kitchen and bathroom. Photos were taken of the under part of the kitchen cabinet and the tile in the bathroom by me, and they accurately depict my observances. Both areas appeared to be consistent in a consistent state of dampness. A report was filed by a restoration company that provided test results to Ms. Lopez at this time. I received that is in the case file. On 2/25/26, I received the report and the pictures from the restoration company. There has been a lot of information, a lot of going back and forth. It's probably a good thing the tenant is not here because of the volatile relationship between the property owner and manager and the tenant. She continually sent me videos, and I believe those are in the case file. I'm not sure that they'll show. But when she took a shower, after she would dry, she bought fans or something, she would dry out the entire floor in the restroom and the bathroom area, take a shower, and then you could physically see water coming from underneath the wall.
Okay.
Okay. There were originally five violations that are still valid at this point. 18105E, weather-tight windows and doors. The front door is not weather-tight. Windows in the master bedroom, front window, and a bedroom are cracked. Those pictures are there. There are stains underneath the cabinet wall surface, tile, grout, and indicate a leak or excessive moisture. That's 18106A. I described it as a dark biofilm at the time. 1897-9, cooking and heating equipment. The handle on the microwave is apparently missing or broken off, and it is not one of those where you push the button that pops the door open. The tenant actually has to pry the door to get it open. 18105C, interior walls, floors, ceiling. After correcting the leak, they must repair in a workmanlike fashion and clean and sanitary fashion. 18103G, plumbing fixtures. The pipe in the wall adjoining the bathroom and the kitchen obviously has a visible leak. They need to replace and repair that. Since then, like I said, this is a lot of back and forth. The tenant did obtain a mold report. And in that report, it did identify that biofilm or dark growth as being mold and of a toxic nature.
Okay.
Since then, are you bars?
Yeah.
Okay. He's provided me with a remedial or remediation report that contradicts the report that was given to me by the tenant. They have started work, and I believe those pictures are in there also. They have removed the entire kitchen cabinets, the drywall, the entire bathroom. All the fixtures have been removed from there, and are beginning to work on the remediation of this biofilm growth referred to as mold in both of these reports. I was expecting the building department to be here as I went to inspect. I believe it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and took pictures of everything that had been ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, no permit was pulled, so the building department was notified, and from my understanding, they went out and issued a stop work order pending permits, but that's their case. The Property was posted on 3/10/26, certified mail was sent on 3/18/26, and certified mail was received on 3/23/26. The city is requesting 120 days or $150 per day to comply with all the violations, including permits required to complete the necessary work. I do believe this time extension is sufficient to comply with the outstanding violations.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, your name, sir?
Baruch. Baruch.
What's your last name?
Yes, sir.
And what's your relation to the LLC? Are you the owner?
No, I'm the manager.
You're the manager, okay. All right, so you've heard what the city is saying. You can see the documents that are scrolling on the screens on both sides. Do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No, me and Mr. Anthony, we were in communication, so our office moved, so we were notified kind of late, I think. So we heard about the complaint like a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So since then, we hired a restoration company. We paid them like $10,000.
Okay.
So they are licensed. So they went ahead, they cleaned the mold. They were not aware that they were supposed to pull a permit, but the apartment is clean, it's free of mold. So they provided a clean mold report from a third-party company, and we applied for the permit since building department went there.
You have applied for the permits?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Do we have a permit number?
Yes, we have a permit number.
Okay.
We applied. It's process.
Yeah. So there is like only a few days of work left in the apartment.
Okay.
But we don't want to do it until permit is issued. And we provided housing for the tenant. So she's staying in a hotel.
Okay.
And we paid for that. Yeah, it's only 2-3 days of work left. We just need.
You need to get the permits first. Yeah.
Yeah. So after here, like I'll go to building department, see if we can rush the permit.
All right. So the city's asking me to give you 120 days. That should be more than enough time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you understand. Once you get the permits, he's not going to comply you out. So once you're done with all the work and you fixed everything, call him so he can come do a reinspection.
Yeah, we'll email him and I will call him.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any objection? You had no objection to the documents, right?
No. It's
Okay.
just.
All right. All right. Anything further from the city?
No, Your Honor.
All right, in case CE 2602-4926, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103G, 18105G, 18979, 18105E, 18103E, 18105C, and 18103C, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 120 days, or $150 a day fine will be assessed. So make sure you get everything complied out and you call code enforcement before that 120 days is up, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 13, 709 51st Street, CE 26035008.
I'm sorry, what number was that?
Number 13, 709 51st.
Good morning, Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This is concerning your address 709 51st Street, case number CE 26035008. Your Honor, I was assigned this case by my supervisor on 3/2/26. The case was originally opened on 11/19/25. The property was issued a courtesy letter at that time. I visited the property on 3/5/26 and observed that none of the violations listed on the courtesy notice had been complied. Performed a records check for the rental license and COU and found that there was no existing rental license. So the only two violations remaining are 22-441, obtain a rental license BTR, and 22-32-A, obtain a certificate of use. Service was obtained by certified mail being sent on 3/19/26, and certified mail was received on 3/23/26. The property was posted, I'm sorry, I had to redo it based on a code that I used that the homeowner called planning and zoning and pointed out it was the incorrect code. So it was posted on, reposted on 3/27/26. And sent on 3/27/26 certified mail and received on 4/8/26. The rental license as of this morning has been applied for and is pending inspections prior to the issuance. Inspections are scheduled at this time. I've been in contact with the property owner for April 20th, 2026. City is requesting 30 days or $250 one-time fine for the rental license and $100 a day for the certificate of use. I do believe that the 30 days is sufficient time to complete the necessary inspections.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, for the COU, you're asking for compliance in 30 days or $100 a day fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what's the evidence of rental?
I met the tenants.
Okay, you
when I went
spoke
to
to
the property.
tenants?
Yes.
Okay.
And the property owner admits that he rents it.
Okay. And the respondent is not present?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't believe he lives local.
Okay. Is there a posting affidavit from 327 in there?
I believe so. It was actually posted by another code officer, and he took the picture and signed the affidavit, so it should be in the case.
What was that delivery date? I'm sorry. Okay, April 2nd. And that was the old one. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 2603-5008, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and USPS delivery confirmation that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 2232A and 22441. For 22441, I'll require respondent to comply within 30 days or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed. And for the violation of 2232A, I'll require respondent to comply within 30 days or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 14, 517 45th Street, CE 26035012.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. property located at 517 45th Street, case number CE 26035012. On 3/5/26, while patrolling my assigned area, my attention was called to this property due to the overgrowth that was very obvious. I initiated investigation, found several other violations. I noticed a new-looking fence structure on the west side of the property. On 3/6/26, I continued my investigation, checked records for a rental license and COU. The rental license at this point has not been paid, and there are several inspections needed to obtain the COU. I also checked records for the permit for the fence, utilizing Papa and Google Maps to locate the date the fence was erected. This indicated via the available pictures that the fence was erected sometime between April of 2011 and February of 2013. Records revealed there was no permit issued for the fence at any time to date. I cited the property for a total of 7 violations. 5 are still valid. 18-106, trash and debris litter. Trash and debris in the parkway yard must be cleaned. 18-106B, overgrowth of the property. The front yard and parkway has excessive growth in excess of 6 inches. 22-32-A must obtain a COU with required inspections. 22-441, rental license or BTR. 94-302-A-3, no permits on file for the fence. The property was posted on 3/10/26. An affidavit of posting was added to the case file. Certified mail was sent on 3/25/26, and certified mail was returned on 4/7/26. Now, I have had several communications with the owner. I received a call from Kim, who is the property owner, where she acknowledged receipt of the violation notice, and I explained each violation to her and explained what needed to be completed in order to comply. On the same date, I received an email from her thanking me for taking the time to explain everything to her. Included in the email was confirmation receipt showing that she had paid the outstanding balance for the rental license, and that is still pending inspections. On 4/10/26, I visited the property and was able to, as I mentioned before, comply 2 of the violations. As of Monday, 4/13/26, records check was completed and found no permit still has not been initiated for the fence. The rental license fees have been paid and are pending inspections. The city is requesting for the rental license 30 days or a one-time fee of $250 for the certificate of use, and the excessive growth and other violations pending, $100 a day after 30 days. And for the fence permit, 90 days or $100 a day. I do believe these time extensions are sufficient to become compliant.
All right, hold on. You got a bunch of things going on there. So 22-441, 30 days or $250 one-time fine. 94-302-A3, what was it for the fence permit?
90 days or $100 a day.
And then for everything else, it was 30 days or?
$100 a day.
Okay. You speak very fast.
I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Too much coffee.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Was there a notarized posting affidavit in there?
I'm sorry?
There it is. Just looking for the posting affidavit. The computer appears to be getting upset with us. All right, there we go. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 26035012, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit posting and a signed certified mail that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106B, 18106K, 22441, 2232A, and 94302A3. For the violation of 22441, I'll require a respondent to comply within 30 days or a one-time fine of $250 will be assessed. For the violation of 94302A3, I'll require a respondent to comply within 90 days, or was it $100 a day for the fence permit?
I'm sorry. Yes.
All right, comply within 90 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that that violation continues. And for the remaining code sections, 18106B, 18106K, and 2232A, I'll require a respondent to comply within 30 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that those violations continue thereafter.
Number 18, 521 26th Street, CE 26035106.
Good morning, Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. Property located at 521 26th Street, case number CE 26035106. While surveying my assigned zone, I observed a white pickup truck with two flat tires in the driveway at this location. Further investigation revealed the tag had been expired since April of 2019. The front yard was also not landscaped with sod or approved ground cover, and nor was the parkway. I issued a courtesy notice at this time and gave 9 weeks to comply. I had contact with the property owner representative, Jeremy Jones, during the time the courtesy notice was in effect. We discussed what needed to be done to rectify the notice. One of the items was the white Ford pickup truck in the driveway with the expired tag and the two flat tires. I explained that the truck needed to be either removed from the property or registered and made operable. He asked if a car cover would be sufficient. I explained it would not. So this was escalated to a notice of violation and carries the code 34-102-A, abandoned vehicle, or inoperable vehicle, excuse me, Your Honor. The 18105K is an explanation and a description of what an inoperable or abandoned vehicle is. On 3/24/26, I stopped by the property again to verify the truck had been moved, and it had not. On 4/7/26, I went by again. Vehicle was still not registered. Tires are still flat, still in the same place. 4/10, I did the same thing again. Vehicle was still there. On 4/13/26, Officer Forrester went by the property to see if the truck had been moved because I was told that it would be moved over the weekend. And on the 13th, he was there. He took photos again, and the truck still had not been moved. I did go by yesterday, and the truck was now on a trailer, and I made contact with the resident who stated that it would be moved by 5 o'clock yesterday I did not have time prior to this morning's hearing to drive by to see to verify that, Your Honor. Property was posted on 3/25/26. Certified mail was sent on 4/2/26. Certified mail was delivered or was attempted to be delivered on 4/6/26. And the letter was, the NOV was made available for pickup on 4/7/26. I have, again, been in contact with the residents and property owner. It's just the city's requesting 10 days to comply or $25 per day. I do believe this time extension is sufficient to achieve compliance.
Thank you, sir. Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. You said $25 a day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir.
No, thank you. Special Magistrate, City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
And did you have a photograph of what you saw yesterday in the case file?
Yes, it's in there. Should be.
Oh.
There it is.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 2603-5106, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 34102, 18105K, and 34102A. I guess you have A, B, and C all in there. So I'll just do 34102, all of it. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 10 days, or a $25 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue.
That completes the first part of the agenda.
What time was the other matters set for?
We set it for 10:30 today because
Very good.
we have an event
I figured
going
based
on.
on people being in the room. So is the city ready to proceed with that portion?
Let's see. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, just 1 second.
Let me just confirm. The 5/10/56? Okay.
Now he's ready. All right. And with that, I'm going to call to order the other matters portion of the City of West Palm Beach code enforcement hearing. It is 10:40, and the city indicates to me that they noticed this hearing for 10:30, so we can proceed. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate for today's hearing. The first thing I'm going to do is swear everybody in who's here to testify on any items on today's agenda. So if you're here for one of the matters on the agenda, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands for me. And I'll swear you in all at the same time. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. All right, very good. You may be seated. So these are fine mitigation or fine reduction hearings. So when you hear your case called, come to the podium down here to my right, your left. City staff is already standing at his podium. He will give me a few brief introductory remarks about the fine and how long the violation persisted. And then as these cases are different than the cases that you just heard, you have the burden to explain to me why the fine should be reduced. So you'll get to present the brunt of the testimony today. So with that, when you hear your case called, come to the podium, and I'll turn it to the city to call the first case.
First case number 21-510 56th Street, CE 24041776, number 21-510 56th Street.
Good morning, Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Supervisor. The property located at 510 56th Street was cited for unsanitary conditions, landscape maintenance, numbering standards, watertight exterior of the structure, grass and weed, which is overgrowth, and painting of the exterior.
The hearing was held, just bear with me 1 second. Okay, sorry. My date ordered 7/31/2024 to comply by 9/9/2024. Fine started 9/10/2024 for $100 a day. Complied date was 12/3/2025. Total number of days out of compliance was 449 days for a total of $44,900. The city was able to reach an agreement with the respondent to reduce the fine to $6,500 with 30 days to pay.
All right, your name, sir?
My name, ma'am, is Antonio Lopez.
All right, and
I'm the owner of the property.
okay, great, thank you, sir. So I've heard the city is telling me that you have an agreement with the city to reduce the fine to that amount
That's
payable
correct.
within 30 days?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, anything else you'd like me to hear?
We already spoke about it, so I don't want to waste your time. We
Okay,
already have an
I
agreement,
appreciate that. I always just want to give you an opportunity should there be anything.
which I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 24041776, having heard the testimony of the city and having heard from respondent, I will grant the mutually agreed reduction. I'll reduce the lien from $44,900 down to $6,500 payable within 30 days. And this goes for everybody who's here for a fine mitigation hearing. That 30 days is critical, so make sure you get it paid within that time. If you don't pay it, it'll revert back to the original lien amount, okay?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
How long I have, I know that it's 30 days, but if I can pay it in 48 hours, so what is my time limit to pay that?
I think you can pay it as soon as you have that order in your hand that she's about to hand you. Is that correct, City?
Yes, it has to be by cashier's check.
That's fine.
So the instructions are on the bottom, though. You can pay as soon as you get the cashier's check.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Number 19, 808 41st Street, CE 20050119.
Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Supervisor. This case, Special Magistrate, is a split order. 804 41st Street was cited for a fence permit.
808.
808, I'm sorry, 808 44th Street was cited for fence permit. Work subjected to inspection, trash can and view of public, numbering standards, inoperable vehicle, abandoned vehicle, and unsanitary condition. For work done without inspection, date ordered was 6/17/2020 to comply by 8/16/2020. Fine started on 8/17/2020 for $100 a day. Total number of days out of compliance was 1,890 days for a total of $189,000. For the other order, which was the inoperable vehicle, date ordered was 6/17/2020 to comply by 8/16/2020. Fine started 8/17/2020 for $100 a day. Total number of days out of compliance was 1,950 days for a total of $191,500. The city was not able to reach an agreement with the respondent. Total fine for both, for the split order, is $380,500. The city's going rate is 25% reduction, which would bring it down to $95,125.
And is the person requesting the mitigation the property owner who was violated, or is it new ownership?
This is the same owner.
Same owner, okay. All right, your name, sir?
Good morning. My name is Reginald Ville.
Okay. So go ahead. Why should the fine be reduced?
All right, so I was kind of young when I purchased my house. Me and my wife, I got married, so I just bought a house. And it was a hurricane back in 2020. It kind of broke down the fence, and I just tried to fix it by replacing it. And then a couple days later, I got a fine on my door saying I didn't get a permit to do it. So within that same week, I went and did everything they needed me to do to pull the permit. I removed the car that was in the yard. I cleaned up the yard because we was just cleaning up the yard. There was a lot of debris in front. So I did everything they wanted us to do. And then, so from there, I thought everything was good. I went and applied for the permit. They even told me they was coming out for an inspection. I have email proof that they said they was en route to come. And it was during COVID. I don't know if they never showed up. So me, I'm thinking this was done. I'm thinking everything was handled. And then I goes to sell my house. My realtor tells me, you have a fine from the city for $380,000. I'm like, how? She starts telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, there's no way. I did everything they asked me to do. And then now I've been going back and forth with the city since then. I'm like, I have proof where you guys told me you was coming out to do the inspection, because they said I never called to do the final inspection. But it shows proof that I emailed them. They emailed me back and said, okay, reply to this email if you did everything for us to come out and route. And I replied to the email. They replied back, it's routed. And then I don't know if nobody ever showed up, but me, I'm thinking, this is my first time going through the city doing like a permit or stuff. I'm thinking this is handled once they tell me it's routed. So I never looked back into it. I'm thinking everything's done. And then 5 years later, I go to sell my house. They said I have a lien for $380,000.
Okay. Do you have the email that you're talking about with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you show it to the city staff? And he'll show it to the attorney.
This right here shows where Samantha Hill, she said, she like, it's the very next day.
Any objection to me looking at these documents?
No objection.
Thank you, sir. So this appears to have something to do with the permit, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. But I'm just going to paraphrase because I don't have the documents in front of me. It said that he did upload the document but didn't complete the task.
Okay.
So if that wasn't done, and that means that there was no follow-up to get the inspection completed.
No, on the thing it says, she said everything is done. If you reply all to this email, we'll send somebody out to do the final inspection. And then she even replied to my all and said it's routed. Like, okay, we'll send somebody out. And they even have, I happened to run into another city code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, I said, how do you think someone would have a lien counting on them for that long and they would never try to handle it? Like she said that the only thing I can think of, you must have not known about it. I said, exactly. And she said, I said, do the city even try to reach out to make sure you know about this so you can try to handle it? She said, yeah, they must have sent an email to you, probably signed and showed you. And she showed me where somebody signed for a mail that I guess they did try to reach out.
Yeah, that's a critical step. If you sat through a couple of the prior hearings, you heard me find service for all the cases, so that's step one. Before I can even hear a violation, I have to make sure that the city has legally served the respondent. So, like you said, they either posted it to your door or they sent you certified mail that somebody signed for.
Yeah, so I never received anything. So I'm like, how does it show somebody signed for something?
So,
she said, yeah, it shows someone signed for it. And I see the thing where somebody signed for it. It's a scribble. I'm like, it's only me and my wife who live here. We don't scribble.
So when did you, so your testimony is about the permit, getting the permit the next day. When did you comply the other violations, the garbage?
Everything, ma'am, was handled the very next day. The only reason the permit is the one I'm showing is because that kept going with the car. The car, there's nothing I could show because the car was moved the next day. So
did you call the code enforcement department and ask them to do a reinspection?
That's the problem there. So when after they said it was routed, I thought
this is just about the permit. So this only applies to the fence permit.
Yeah, so the fence permit was what was the problem in the first place. They gave
you had a couple of things, right? You had a fence permit, you had trash cans in public view, you had numbering standards, you had an inoperable vehicle, you had clean and sanitary trash, debris, litter.
Yeah, and they can't. I talked to them. I already told them everything was in compliance, and then they was waiting for me to do the permit for the fence.
All right.
They said I need to do
Can I ask you to give this
They
back
said I need to be in compliance with everything before they can come back out, and then that's why they was waiting on the permit for the fence to finish. And then I'm waiting the whole time for them to come out. I guess nobody ever came out. And me, I'm thinking everything's handled the whole time. 5 years later, I'm in a lien. If I knew about that, even then, I would have been trying to handle it.
Right. So what do you think the fine amount should be reduced to?
Like, what do I think? To be honest, I didn't think I should be paying anything, but if I have to pay something, I can pay like maybe $1,000, $3,000 the max, because I don't have any money to pay this fine. That it's not my fault. That's the problem.
All right. Does the city know how many other code cases have been on this property?
At this present moment, ma'am, no.
That's the only thing ever that just popped up out of nowhere when I was trying to sell my house. If I knew about this, I would have been handled this. I got married at a young age. I've been trying very hard to give my wife a good life, and that was the first thing I did was buy me a little house. There was nothing I would let come in the way of that, for the city to take that away from me. There is no way I would let anything come in the way of that.
All right, so I don't mind reducing it. The trouble I'm having is that I don't have any proof of when you called code enforcement to come out and do compliance inspections. I have the permit email, but I don't have any other proof. Do you have anything else you want to show me about when you told them you were in compliance?
Because I don't have any emails, but I know right away I talked to someone because I did everything. I talked to someone, and they told me I had to get everything situated first, and which is the permit was the main thing waiting, and then that made everything just waited out forever. I really spoke to someone, and I even tried to find out who it was. I think she don't work for them anymore. I guess she was like the person who drives the neighborhood. And I was talking to her all the time.
So the permit, the city's compliance date, was that the permit was issued after 1,890 days? Is that correct?
That's when the case was complied. I'm not sure when the permit was issued.
Because that's finally the time when I tried to sell my house, and
so that's when you called to get a compliance inspection.
So that's when I'm like, what is this? She said, okay, well, if everything else is in compliance, you still got to handle this other permit thing that's still not handled. And then that's when I got into this whole lien reduction situation.
How long have you owned the property?
2016.
Okay, and this is the only time you've been in code enforcement trouble?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I try everything I can to try to, I got 3 kids. I try everything to give my family a good life. I would never let anything come in between that, especially not something I can control. This is talking about taking trash away. Like, they even gave me a code enforcement for having the trash in the front yard. And to be honest, I didn't even know you're not allowed to do that. And it was like that for the whole 5 years before that. So when they finally told me that, I started moving it to the backyard. But every house in the neighborhood does it the same way. They pull it by the front gate. And if I knew that, I would never have it in the front, because I would never let something so simple come in the way of me having my house.
Right. All right, does the city have anything else they want me to hear?
Yes, Special Magistrate, I just want to see what happened, if we could pull up the photographs for the comply by date. If not, I'll go ahead with your ruling. Okay, we could go ahead with the ruling, yeah, Special Magistrate.
All right, and he's testified that he's owned the property since 2016, so for 10 years there hasn't been any other code cases against the property.
So I promise I had no clue. Like, if I did, I would have handled that right away.
Okay, that's fine.
And you're trying to sell the house now?
Yes, ma'am.
Go back. What's the date on that photograph? 6/15/2020. Okay, I'm looking for anything after 7. What's the date on that? August what? Okay. So, August 18, 2020. Special Marshal, we have a black vehicle there that doesn't have a tag on it.
And the garbage can is still in public view. So you're saying that the violation didn't comply the next day. It went on for a couple of months,
Yes, ma'am.
either way. So what he's showing me is that you're telling me that you complied the very next day, but these photographs are not consistent with that.
What I mean is, the moment I found out with everything, I went and handled it.
Right. When did you find out, though?
I'm not sure exactly the date, but within that, every time, like once I saw those stuff, I went and handled everything right away.
All right.
Sir, I promise you, I would never play with my kids' life. I promise you, like, everything was handled right away, and I thought I was done with that until recently when I tried to sell my house. It popped up, and I'm like, no way, I handled all these things. And even that car, I bought that car to fix it for my little brother. It was just something I was working on, and I got rid of it just because of that.
All right. Anything else you'd like me to hear, sir?
Nothing, ma'am.
All right. Anything else from the city?
Okay, what's the date of that? So we have a photograph there, Special Magistrate, on the front of the property dated back to May 2020. So we have service, regular
Yeah,
mail.
no, I don't have any issue that you had service, but I understand your point that he's saying that somebody signed for the certified mail, which may have been true, but it was also posted at the property.
Yes.
Did you live at the property for the entire time?
This whole time, I always lived there. The only time I probably wouldn't receive something if I took a vacation with my family.
Yeah, but just so you know what he's saying, can you pull that picture back up? So what the city is saying, and just so you know, if you get another one of these, because it's very clear that you got this one. So not only did they send you a certified mail, which sometimes if you're not home or somebody else signs on your behalf from your house, but they also posted the documents to your door. So if you live there, there's no excuse for you not to have known, right? So not only did you get something sent registered mail that you had to sign for, but they also posted it to your door. So
I think I got one like this. That's the one. I got something like this, and that's when I started handling everything.
well, that was back in 2020 though.
Yeah.
So that was before the hearing in 2020. So I don't know if you appeared at the hearing, but if you ever get another one of those posted to your door, you need to take it very seriously, because now you're coming to me 6 years later and saying you didn't know about it, but they posted it on a copy of the notice on your front door.
But I think that when I got a notice like this, I think it said something about to make sure I handle everything. I didn't know it told me to come into a hearing.
Yeah, it always gives you a hearing date. So if you ever get another one, I'm inclined to reduce the fine. Given you haven't been you're not a repeat offender, you don't have a lot of code enforcement issues, that certainly goes to your benefit. But just so you know, ignorance is not an excuse, right? So just because you didn't know about it or you didn't understand what the code allowed or didn't allow, you have to be careful there, because as a homeowner, you have an obligation to be informed about what you can and can't do. And letting cars with no tags on them sit in your driveway for months and months, you can't do that.
To be honest, this situation, I've been praying God every day, because I tell my wife every day, I say, babe, this gotta be because like I said, I was very young. I just wanted to do what everybody else did, buy a house and take care of your family. So I kind of told my wife, we talk about this every day. I said, babe, in no way, this might be a learning moment for us, because we have no clue about this. And I learned so much through this process, just going through the process of doing the lien reduction. I learned so much, and I promise you, I would never be in a situation like this anymore. I have a Haitian background. My mom don't even want me to be in court. Like, this is bad luck for me to be in court.
Well, it's good that you showed up. I mean, you're trying to sell, so I'm going to give you a reduction. I'm going to give you more of a reduction. The city indicates that you had conversations. Their 25% is still a very, very high number. So I'm going to reduce it much more than that.
I would really appreciate it.
Given that you haven't been in code enforcement trouble, because the statute says that there are some things I can consider. The gravity of the violations. Some of these are a little bit more serious, but they're not health, safety, welfare. They're not life safety issues. The one that's even more important to me, because it affects your neighbors and it affects the rest of the city, is how many times you've been in code enforcement trouble. So if you have 20 cases over your ownership and you just have no regard for the city's code, then that doesn't go in your favor. Okay. In this case, it does go in your favor, because you've testified that this is the only case that you've ever had since you've owned the property in 2016. So with that, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right. Anything further from you, sir?
No, ma'am. I just appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate your testimony. I appreciate you showing up for this morning's hearing. In case CE 200501119, I'm going to, after hearing from the city and hearing from the respondent, I'm going to, and having considered the number of code cases that's been testified to by a respondent, as this being the only one since his ownership in 2016, and given the types of violations that he was cited for, I'm going to reduce the lien from $380,500 down to $4,500 payable. Can you pay that within 90 days?
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll do everything I can.
Can you pay it in 90 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Because just like I told the last gentleman, if you don't pay it, it'll go back up, and then you're stuck.
I understand.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So she'll give you a copy of that order. I hope that helps you and your family. And again, just like you've done with this, if you ever get another code enforcement notice, come to the hearings.
I appreciate it, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Number 2412 54th Street, CE 190101116.
Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Supervisor. Property located at 412 54th Street was cited for fence maintenance, landscape maintenance, overgrowth, condition of the structure, and weather type of the structure. Date ordered 2/20/2019 to comply by 4/21/2019. Fine started 4/22/2019 for $250 a day. Total days out of compliance was 1,981 days for a total fine of $495,200. Date this property came into compliance was 9/23/2024. The city and the respondent was not able to come into an agreement. The standard rate that the city offers is 25%, which brings this down to $123,812.50.
And is the violator the same as the
Yes,
current
ma'am.
owner, or is it changed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The city even offered a 15% reduction, an 85% reduction, I would say, that brought it down to $74,281.50.
All right, your name, sir?
Good morning. Damon Montgomery,
All right,
owner of
and
the property.
what's your relation to the property?
I am the property owner.
You're the owner, okay. All right, now it's your turn. Why should the fine be reduced?
Well, this fine was enacted due to a fire that left the exterior of the property in disrepair. I'm not denying the fact that the property was ugly and a disgrace to the neighborhood, so I understand the pressure to get the property back into compliance. Unfortunately, the process of contracting an architect, engineer, survey company, and procuring funds is a bit of a lengthy process. I was told I needed to obtain a permit within an allotted period of approximately 8 weeks. At the time prior to this lien being placed, I was already working with an architect on plans for the house. Once I got the architect's proposed drawings, I submitted on 3/20/2019, and I was hopeful I would get a permit before the 4/22/19 deadline. We went back and forth with the building department with comments and revisions, and the permit was finally issued on 6/7/19. Process of addressing comments and making revisions took approximately 2.5 months, and unfortunately I missed the deadline of 4/22/19. At the time, I spoke with Officer Joe Petrick, who was employed as a code officer at the time. He was kind and understanding, and he told me, not to worry so much, and that he would help me get this lien resolved once the construction was complete. Unfortunately, Mr. Petrick is no longer employed here for verification. After a lengthy process, a good sum of money spent, about $177,000 is what I put in the property, and I have some of those documents here to substantiate that from QuickBooks. The house passed final inspection, and a final CO was issued on 2/3/21. I unfortunately found out later that the permit was not closed out due to some NOAs that needed updating and a stamp and approval from the original engineer and architect. It was put on the back burner by both the architect and engineer, and if you ever had to deal with either the architects and engineers, they can be a little difficult to get a hold of, and you're kind of at the mercy of their schedule. I pushed them pretty consistently, but to no avail. I also look for alternatives, but nobody wants to touch alternative architects and engineers, but nobody else wants to touch anybody else's work on a small scale project. Back to square one. Around this time, I ended up putting this on the back burner. My father was dying, so I went and spent some time with him, so that pushed this issue another few months. So I have responsibility here. I have made mistakes in dealing with this. In hindsight, definitely I would have dealt with this in a completely different matter, and yes, I'm not looking to be absolved of my responsibility. I understand my lack of knowledge is not an excuse, and I have a responsibility in this matter, and that I must pay for my mistakes, consequences for my actions or inactions in this case of not taking care of this promptly. I believe the code compliance system is a good system to keep everybody in shape and keep the houses, as a good deterrent to keep the houses looking tidy. Unfortunately, Mr. Levine has been kind enough to offer me a very generous reduction of $74,000, but I'm not in a position, to pay that. Not that I could come up with. When I originally spoke with Joe Petrick, he told me not to worry about this and that he would work with me. I just never imagined what the number being $74,000 is quite a bit. Currently, the house is clean, tidy, good representation of the neighborhood, and I'm hopeful some grace can be given. That being said, I'd like to make a proposition. Maybe we go back to the golden age of lien reduction, where the code officer says, hey, as opposed to 25%, they used to offer 10%, and we go back and forth and negotiate, and maybe we come up with $25,000 as payment in full. I'm ready to do that. I can do that within the 30 days or today if I go get a cashier's check, but I can do $25,000, and I'm hoping that that's a respectable number. I know, like I said, this is supposed to be a deterrent, but hopefully not a method to wipe out, homeowner savings. So I'm hoping that that's a respectable number, and I ask for some grace.
Well, I appreciate that, and I certainly appreciate your acknowledgement. You can imagine how many times I hear, I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know. So I appreciate you taking responsibility for making decisions that did cost you some in additional fine accrual. I'll ask the city for their response if they have one.
I'll leave it at the discretion of the special magistrate.
Sir, thank you very much for leaving that squarely in my lap. Let me ask you, sir, how long have you owned the property?
I believe 2017.
Okay, so a good bit of time.
Yeah.
12/7/2017, man.
2017. Did the fire happen when you owned it, or did you buy it?
No, the fire happened when I owned it. I owned it with a partner. It was an older home. It had some older wiring, and they overloaded a circuit, unfortunately.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
Nobody was hurt.
Yeah, that's okay. Does the city have any idea how many other code cases on this address?
Can you pull that up?
Are you aware, sir? Have you, since your ownership, have there been a bunch of other cases, or is this the only one?
Not to my knowledge. I'm going to say no, but he would know. You guys would know better.
It's only 2 cases.
2 cases? In the history of forever?
Since they've owned it.
Since they've owned it, okay.
Well, actually, you said you owned it since when?
2017.
17.
Okay. They didn't have any case, just
No
this
case,
one case.
just this one, okay.
The last case was in 2016.
Okay. All right. All right, anything further you'd like me to hear?
That's all I have.
All right. I certainly, again, appreciate your willingness to take responsibility. I think that the offer that you've made, as you say, code enforcement is not supposed to be punitive, but as you heard me tell the gentleman before you, the unfortunate reality of code enforcement is that your neighbors have to deal with what's going on the property. So I'm very inclined to look at the gravity of the violations and even more importantly, the number of cases. That's very significant to me because if the neighbors are continually dealing with problem properties, you don't want to live on that street. So. Right. I'm very sensitive to that number, and I'm also sensitive to the fact that you had a fire and that everything is a process, and it's been that way for a while in terms of getting construction done. So I'm amenable to your number. I think it's a reasonable number to get the fine down to an amount that is manageable for you, but that does keep intact the city's code enforcement process because everybody benefits from code enforcement. Everybody hates code enforcement, but there is a value in code enforcement in terms of keeping properties maintained. So. With that said, in case CE 19010116, I'm going to reduce, after hearing the testimony of the respondent and the amount of money that he's put into rehabilitating the property, I'm going to reduce the lien amount down from $495,250 down to $25,000 payable within 30 days, okay?
Thank you very much.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it.
That completes the agenda.
And I think she'll give you an order before you leave, sir, right there.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, nothing further, correct? All right, I'll adjourn at 11:16. Thank you.